Okay. Do you have any suggestions?
No, but didn't
Oh,
you
well,
say?
yes,
Yes.
yes, he'll be here shortly. Okay, that also very much. Thanks. Everything looks great.
We already online. If you will go, this is what I'm trying to do. Okay, slash cosmos right. Twitch.tv, right? That TV. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, exactly.
it's streaming already. And right now we still have a lot of time, so let's say okay. It should be like we can do 10 seconds delay.
Yeah.
That's it.
So technically, if somebody sitting in the audience, they could have their device and go, hey, I'm checking it out. So it's probably not a good thing for it to delay.
Delay, yeah. Brian called me this morning and I explained.
Okay, good. So none of that.
Yeah. Да. Да. Мы уже все подготовили, все уже на месте. Да. Да. Сзади из паркинга, Да. Да. Ну, что-то никогда не был в паркинге театра. Это потому что ты взял театр. А мы же в класс, мы в другой половине. Да. Давай. Брать больше группы.
Are you ready? Are you ready to check sound?
YouTube не идет?
Ah, okay. We're about to be ready to start.
Вообще делей небольшой. Which delay is less?
Why they all don't do Twitch? What's the point of YouTube?
Ну, YouTube мы делаем как бэкап.
Yeah, they use it. They change it too. Когда ты должен видеть, ты нажал и все.
Ты знаешь, я не сильно этим вообще занимаюсь. Но Twitch, вот Брайан мне уже объяснил, Twitch там масса хороших вещей. Там, во-первых, оно записывается. Ты можешь потом, да. Я просто этим практически не занимался. Ну, да? Ну, хорошо, значит, будем делать на Twitch. Ты не скажи, какой, значит, на трайкастере первая камера, вход, кто-то умудрился выложить, знаешь, на BNC там пиптики такие, кто-то умудрился их выложить. И ты мне скажи, блядь, с какой-то, сука, силой надо поворачивать или что? Хрен его знает, не знаю, ну тогда бы сломали, ну не знаю, во всяком случае, я вчера слышал, я не могу понять, я его, блядь, потом не смотрю, а их там нет. Вот, блядь, ну, оно, в принципе, на работе. Да? Да? Как это можно было понять? И главное, что его так просто не заменишь, потому что это наверняка это гнездо, знаешь, которое впаянное в плату. Ну да, это целая история. 20 тысяч, блядь, аппарат, нет, ну, не 20, меньше, вместе. Вот эта панель, блядь, дорогая, вот эта панель, она около 7 тысяч стоит. А у них есть большая, да вообще 12,5 штук. Ну класс, я так, я все-таки я по поверхности, по верхам, знаешь, разобрался, такой, я еще в оверлеях ничего не разобрал, ну, не было надобности. Но, конечно, отлично. Отлично. Они мне прислали, я попросил фотографию. Нет, это не детально сделано. Это они, да. Да, да. Ой, подожди, они, по-моему, просили это записывать тоже. Ладно. Подожди, мы, по-моему, просили. Ну, они хотели, слушай, я могу камеру писать. Да? А? Нет. Я в этом, в Старокастере могу 8 фотографов, но 4 на внутренний канал и еще 4 на внешний. Да. Ну, надо это. Значит, Берг. Вот регулярно. Right, right.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
You said it's streaming right now?
Yes.
Okay, so anything that I play would be streamed?
Yes, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Алло. Алло. Да, звони. Виталий, что там у вас происходит? Что у меня руки текстовые? Он текстовый типа, мол, зачем столько народу, если никто не знает, чего делать? У него начинается, да? Нежненько успокой его. Заебал. А у него несколько дней. Так, хорошо. Ну так а чего ж так? Так и надо было, чтобы Бог ничего не делал. Ну так. Мгм. Ну то есть ждем из-за трассы. Ну пусть отдыхает. Скажи ему, что да, да, скажи, что я его люблю. Варик. Да, да, брат. Вот как мне, я не помню, я это делал, но я не помню как. Так, это вот третий. Да? Нет. Это не то. don't play for almost 20 years. My kids saying, oh, dad is playing, he's probably drunk. Oh,
Thank you very much.
no, no, no. There will be some bagpipe. Yes. So when you will be playing, I will switch you on the camera. Just they wanted to see it. Okay, where is my mask? Он не может и произвести. Люди сидят в кругу.
Да, мы можем в некоторых самых конце использовать. Beverly's beloved piano teacher, Jen Oswald, Mr. could not be here. His colleague, concert pianist John Paxley Call, performed Beethoven's Platina Sonata, second movement.
You can go on.
Let me just talk to yes. And we'll be able to shoot him, right?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
Great.
Laura will be here soon.
No, Laura's not coming.
Oh, so who will be the second one?
My brother, Paul.
Okay, and they told
They're
me
gonna
that-
get a podium. Aren't they gonna get a podium out
Oh,
there?
okay, yeah, because I put microphone on the stand, but there is no podium for me.
She's getting it. Jenny's getting it.
The second microphone is with me.
Okay. Okay. And then the photo one.
I will meet you in the parking lot. Yes, yes, the one that is next to the theater, not across the street. Okay. So I was thinking sometime quarter to noon, switch to the one that will start shortly. So and like what do you want? 5 minutes before 12.
I would even go 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
10 minutes. So we will report to you.
Yeah, perfect. And then after the bagpipes finish, that we just turn that off.
And we go to the camera. We go to the camera to the white shot
Yes,
first,
yes.
and then when somebody is coming to mic, you go into those. Okay, so in the dining room, the pottery look is right here.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Brilliant. Josh,
So, so I have your microphone. You will be over there with the mic. Yeah, you will be over there. So just, I don't know if you're familiar. Your on the left? Yes. No, slide. And come on. Real quick. No. This is, so when it's on, you will see something on the display. It takes quick second to start working. Like for example, right now it shows. You see? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. So like a couple seconds before you will start talking, turn it off. I mean, turn it on.
So you invest. I'm going to be the MC.
I know, right on.
Every time I do
You know, you don't have to do it. It just, I cannot see from here, so I don't want to do you this. Unless, you know, unless you will make sure that you keep it not close to your mouth. You fine.
I'm good. I understand that.
Okay, so you can leave it here for now.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Ты можешь сказать правильно, уточнить. Да, но это то, что мы видели. Поставить подсумки, чтобы его было видно. Правильно.
Umbrella under that TV, right? Yes.
excuse me?
Umbrella under that TV?
Yeah, but you can kind of see it. What do you think?
You know, we get brighter and
Right.
it's the sun.
Yeah.
But, you know, the closer we get to 3,
Yeah. Right. Okay. Who needs a computer to see the Spotify after the memorial?
I think, could you just, it's just for the background music into that.
No, it's going to go into the, it's going to be out here because most people are going to be out here.
Okay, then step on.
Okay. I'm just gonna rest here
1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Excuse me for that. Ward. Ward.
Word?
Yeah, W-A-R-D. That's
Okay,
what my
Ward.
family calls me. My official name is Paul. Just call me Ward.
Okay. Listen, so can you instruct whoever will be to be pretty close to the microphone, yes?
I'm gonna show them. And given if they need some help adjusting, I can come and if they're fumbling, I can come up and help them. Because I'm gonna be MC. I'm going back and forth. Yeah. But this will be mostly live, right?
Yes.
Or your eyeball, I suspect.
I'm watching cameras, but preferably it will be mostly live.
Now, do you still want me to handheld? Go with the handheld that you
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So,
yes. You have to be independent.
Okay.
So what did you say about the computer? She needs power, or
No, she doesn't need power, but she's going to read her speech off of her laptop.
okay? So
So just put it perfect.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
yes,
perfect.
yes.
Yeah. Perfect.
So look, you can just
Adjust that.
yeah adjust.
Okay, great. That's an adjustment. Okay, got it. Up and down.
Okay, you can.
Or tilt like that. And spec. The other thing is, so when I'm with my handheld, I don't go anywhere. I try to stay away from that.
No, it's
doesn't
no
matter.
interaction. No interaction.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I think it's good. You're cool with your videos.
Yes.
We'll start with bagpipes. I haven't seen those guys yet. I'm sure they're going to be there.
I need Brian to because he left his computer for Spotify.
That's Spotify.
Yeah, but it's you have to log on.
Okay, so I'll do this. Yeah, well, okay. And as soon as I see Brian, I'll have him come get you.
whatever colors you have in your mind, I'll show them to you, and you'll see them shine. Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big brass bed. Stay, lady, stay, stay with your man a while. Until the break of day, let me see you make 'em smile. His clothes are dirty, but his hands are clean, and you're the best thing that he's ever seen. Stay, lady, stay, stay with your man a while.
Right, testing 1, 2, 3. Peter Gusick. Peter Gusick.
While
Testing.
waiting long
1,
before
2,
the world to begin,
3.
you can have your cake and eat it too. While waiting longer for the one you love, when he's standing in front of you. Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big brass bed. Stay, lady, stay.
They're bringing the guest book and the photos
Stay
of
while the
Beverly.
night
Ron
is
and Bridget are a
still
little bit.
ahead.
Bridget and Ron, you're in charge of that. And in the guest book, there's an 8x10. There's an 8x10.
In the morning light, I long to reach for you in the night.
Johnny.
Stay, lady, stay.
They're all gay.
Stay while the night is still ahead.
So she has, in the guest book, there's a little
Can you surrey? Can you picnic? Whoa, can you surrey? Can you picnic? Come on and surrey down to a stone salt picnic. Can you surrey down to a stone salt picnic? There'll be lots of time and wine. Red, yellow, honey, sassafras, and moonshine. Red, yellow, honey, sassafras, and moonshine.
you see the Southern Cross for the first time, you understand now why you came this way. 'Cause the truth you might be running from is so small, but it's as big as the promise of a coming day. So I'm sailing for tomorrow, my dreams are dying, and my love is an anchor tied to you, tied with a silver chain. I have my ship and all her flags are a-flying. She is all that I have left, and music is her name. Think about how many times I have fallen. Spirits are using me, but your voice is calling. What heaven brought you and me cannot be forgotten. Looking around the world, I have been around the world, looking for that woman, girl, who knows love can endure, and you know it will, and you know it will. So we cheated and we lied and we tested, and we never failed. You will survive being bested. Somebody fine will come along, make me forget about loving you in the Southern Cross.
Now that I've lost everything to you, you say you wanna start something new, and it's breaking my heart you're leaving. Maybe I'm grieving, but if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you have a lot of nice things to wear, but then a lot of nice things turn bad out there. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. I'll always remember you like a child, girl. You know I've seen a lot of what the world can do, and it's breaking my heart in two, because I never wanna see you sad, girl. Don't be a bad girl, but if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you make a lot of nice friends out there, but just remember there's a lot of bad and beware. Beware. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. And I'll always remember you like a child, girl. Baby, I love you. But if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you make a lot of nice friends out there. But just remember there's a lot of bad and beware. Well, oh baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile. Oh baby, baby, it's a wild world. I'll always remember you like a child girl. Oh baby, baby, it's a wild world. And it's hard to get by just upon a smile. Oh baby, baby, it's a wild world. And I'll always remember you like a child girl.
Now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come. And I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one. And I believe it could be someday it's going to come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Now I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come. And I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, peace train sounding louder, ride on the peace train. Ooh, ooh. Come on, the peace train. It's peace train, holy roller. Everyone jump on the peace train. Come on, the peace train. Get your bags together. Go bring your good friends too. 'Cause it's getting nearer. It soon will be with you. Come and join the living. It's not so far from you. And it's getting nearer. Soon it will all be true. Oh, peace train sounding louder. Ride on the peace train. Come on, the peace train. Peace train. Now I've been crying lately, thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Oh, peace train sounding louder, ride on the peace train. Come on, the peace train. It's peace train, holy roller. Everyone jump on the peace train. Ooh, ooh. Come on, come on, come on.
were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. Yeah, the bonnie boat was one as we sail into the mystic. Oh, I can now hear the sailors cry, smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic. And where that foghorn blows, I will be coming home. Yeah, when the foghorn blows, I wanna hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And magnificently we will fold into the mystic. When that foghorn blows, you know I will be coming home. Yeah, when that foghorn whistle blows, I gotta hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And together we will fold into the mystic. Come on, girl.
Well, if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be, you know that there are. And if you want to live high, live high. And if you want to live low, live low. 'Cause there's a million ways to go, you know that there are. What you want, the opportunity's on. And if you find a new way, you can do it today. You can make it all true, and you can make it undo. You see, it's easy. You only need to know. Well, if you want to say yes, say yes. And if you want to say no, say no. 'Cause there's a million ways to go, you know that there are. And if you want to be me, be me. And if you want to be you, be you. 'Cause there's a million things to do, you know that there are. You can do what you want, the opportunity's on. And if you find a new way, You can do it today. You can make it all true, and you can make it undo. You see, it's easy. You only need to know. Well, if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be. You know that there are, 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 you know that there are. I would have given you all of my heart, but there's someone who's torn it apart, and she's taken almost all that I've got. But if you want, I'll try to love again. Baby, I'll try to love again, but I know the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. 'Cause when it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's worst. But when it comes to being loved, she's first. That's how I know the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. I still want you by my side, just to help me dry the tears that I've cried. 'Cause I'm sure gonna give you a try. And if you want, I'll try to love again. But baby, I'll try to love again. But I know the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. 'Cause when it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's worst. But when it comes to being loved, she's first. That's how I know the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. 'Cause when it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's worst. But when it comes to being loved, she's first. That's how I know the first cut is the deepest.
I met my old lover on the street last night. She seemed so glad to see me, I just smiled. And we talked about some old times, and we drank ourselves some beers. Still crazy after all these years. Oh, still crazy after all these years. I'm not the kind of man who tends to socialize. I seem to lean on old familiar ways, and I ain't no fool for more love songs that whisper in my ears. Still crazy after all these years. Oh, still crazy after all these years. Four in the morning, crapped out, yawning, longing my life away. I never worry, why should I? It's all gonna fade. Now I sit by my window and I watch the cars. I fear I'll do some damage one fine day. But I would not be convicted by jury of my peers. Still crazy after all these years. Oh, still crazy. Still crazy. Still crazy after all these years.
There's something in the way she moves, or looks my way, or calls my name, that seems to leave this troubled world behind. If I'm feeling down and blue, or troubled by some foolish game, she always seems to make me change my mind. I feel fine anytime she's around me now. She's around me now, almost all the time. And if I'm well, you can tell that she's been with me now. She's been with me now, quite a long, long time, and I feel fine. Every now and then the things I lean on lose the meaning, and I find myself careening in places where I should not let me go. She has the power to go where no one else can find me, yes, and to silently remind me of the happiness and good times that I know. Well, I said I just got to know them. It isn't what she's got to say, or how she thinks, or where she's been. To me the words are nice, the way they sound. I like to hear them best that way. It doesn't much matter what they mean. Well, she says they're mostly just to calm me down. I feel fine anytime she's around me now. She's around me now, almost all the time. If I'm well, you can tell that been with me now quite a long, long time. Yes, and I feel fine.
Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 they're gonna own me, 2 they're gonna stone me. One said she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand. Take it easy. Now I'm standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, with such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to have a look at me. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. We may lose and we may win, but we will never be here again. Open up, I'm climbing in to take it easy. Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. Got a world of trouble on my mind. I'm looking for a lover who won't blow my cover. She's just a little hard to find. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me.
And discipline remains massively.
And neither would you, Derek, this star nonsense. No, it is it.
I'm sure of it.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to train your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change? Did you exchange a walk-on part in the wall for a lead role in a cage? How I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground. What have we found? The same old fears. Wish you were here.
Look over there. What's that I see? Is that her on her way back home? Or do my eyes deceive me? We had her falling out the night before she said she was gone away. She put on a coat, walked to the door. What was I to see? I said, please think about the good times we had. I said, please think about the good times, not the bad. Yesterday, wandering aimlessly, my head down, I was blue. I couldn't believe it happened to me. I cried like a fool. Who can say and do the right thing every time when it comes to love? Who don't stumble every once in a while? Tell me who's above it. Please think about the good times we had. I said, please think about the good times, not the bad. Talking about, don't it happen to everyone? It carve a hole in your heart like a bullet from a gun. What's that sound? What's that I hear? Is that a key unlocking the door? Is there something wrong with my ear? I said, please think about the good times we had. I said, please think about the good times, not the bad, not the bad. Please think about the good times we had. Think about the good times, not the bad. Not the bad. For you, babe, I couldn't find the door, couldn't even see the floor. I'd be sad and blue if not for you. If not for you, babe, I'd lay awake all night, wait for the morning light shining through, but it would not be new if not for you. If not for you, my sky would fall, rain would gather too. Without your love, I'd be nowhere at all. I'd be lost if not for you, and you know it's true. If not for you, my sky would fall, rain would gather too. Without your love, I'd be nowhere at all. Oh, what would I do?
Good afternoon, everyone. Unfortunately, today's presenters, Laura Newman and Jim Tabor, could not attend. My name is Ward Wry, and on behalf of my brother Brian and niece Ruby Wry, I would like to welcome you all to this memorial of Beverly Berg Wry. If I could ask you to just take a moment and silence your electronic devices. And those of you that have the shade umbrellas, if you could just be conscientious and to keep them lowered instead of going really high so the cameras can do their work. It is with great pleasure that I introduce dear friends of Beverly and Brian. Please welcome Trudy Goodman, Fatima Boge, and Jack Kornfeld.
This is Ram Dass on this mask, a teacher that Beverly and I both loved, a friend of mine. And Beverly loved Ram Dass so much that when he passed away, I took a pair of socks from his drawer and brought them to Beverly so that she could wear them while she was lying around, dealing with what she was dealing with. And I don't know if she actually wore them, Ruby, but I guess, yeah, Brian says she wore them, but she framed them. They're framed. That's how much she loved Ram Dass. So I thought just to take a moment after that beautiful music to breathe together, to just do very brief meditation in honor of the practice that Beverly loved, and invite you to just lower your gaze, close your eyes, tune in for a moment, and just take a deep breath. Another one, just breathing in the aliveness of this moment. And breathing out into the quiet of all of us here together. And one more time, breathing in that swirl of emotions, and breathing out, just relaxing and calming down. Breathing in the atmosphere of love here, and breathing out, relaxing into the stillness. So I'm here to mourn the loss of Beverly, my most hilariously funny and fun friend. Beverly she radiated such extraordinary warmth. She made all of us feel that we were so special to her, that we were all her special friend, even if she was your therapist, right? You felt she was your friend. And our friendship spanned many years, many different roles. She and Brian, I think that's when I first met you, was when you came to Insight LA. It's a nonprofit that I founded for meditation teaching, to learn mindfulness meditation and mindfulness-based stress reduction. So we started out kind of teacher-student, and then we became colleagues and did some work together. And then Beverly became my go-to, restoration of sanity person. There was a time when I was about to do something extremely stupid and short-sighted that would have been very bad for my relationship with Jack. So I made what was essentially a program call to Beverly, my knickers in an anguished twist. And Beverly listened, and then she spoke, And by the time she finished speaking, I was rolling on the floor. I was laughing so hard at the very idea that I would have even entertained doing something so stupid. Yeah, she was a real heart sister. In Beverly's book, Loving Somebody in Recovery, she said, the only thing harder than getting along with other human beings in the world is getting along with one human being living under the same roof. Now, she was talking about intimate relationship, right? Or being couple, whatever you are. But she also did the work to befriend and get along with herself. That's the person, right, we're always living with under the same roof. And that human being, and that's the relationship that we're most asked to heal, really, in this life. And she approached her personal work, her spiritual, her emotional work, with the same passion and dedication as she brought to everything that she did in her life. You know, amazingly full life, gifted therapist, meditator, friend, clay artist, CrossFit athlete, pianist, I don't even know the half of it, and mom, and wife, and what I love among the many things I love about Beverly is that she really worked the clay of her own heart. You know, you see the beautiful creations that she made. Those were things she made while she had her brain tumor. And her work with those of you who had the privilege of being her therapy clients, the way she was with me, and probably each one of you, you know, it was always challenging, questioning, offering her wisdom and advice, both solicited and unsolicited. But we were the clay. We were the clay that she worked with also, you know, to learn more about life itself, about her own being, about being alive and her own heart. So Beverly, how will we move forward with your inspiration? I was in shock. I never really thought that I would walk this earth without Beverly. She was younger than I am by a lot. So I was definitely shattered. And then I just remembered who I really am and who she really is and who you really are and what she lived through, all of that. And I think for me, rather than waiting to do things, I'm going to do them sooner rather than later, right? And rather than waiting to laugh with all of you, I'm going to laugh now. I mean, we'll cry too. But I want to laugh more, be more mischievous, wonder about the world, and just see the absurdity that Beverly saw in it, which is the source of her just constant, amazing sense of humor. You know, our lives, Beverly's life has ended in this incarnation, but our lives are going on for now. So I want to continue to live my life as though Beverly's just a phone call away. And while Beverly's, you know, Brian and Ruby, and they can't exactly do that, we can, just a phone call away. So this is a poignant reminder to cherish everybody that you meet, to savor every moment of life, because it's really precious. And this, why we're here today, reminds us of that. So Beverly said about her pottery, I love the freedom of incorporating the imperfections of finished pieces rather than striving for perfection. I see each imperfection as a transparent exposure of what makes me, me. What unconditional acceptance, right, of her own humanity and her own everything, all of who she was, and wanting it all to be seen and loved. It's a beautiful lesson in befriending yourself and letting your art, whatever your form of self-expression might be, just let it shamelessly reflect all of who you are, because that's really what Beverly did. Look at those, you know, the brain tumor pottery pieces, right? Wildly, gloriously unusual and imperfect. And that's what makes Beverly and each one of us unique and irreplaceable. So, given that life is imperfectly perfect, let's live it up the best we can together. I think that's what Beverly would want for us. And she would also want us to connect with each other, after this part, to just talk to each other and tell stories and feel our feelings. If anybody would give us permission to feel all our feelings, right, it would be Beverly. A memorial can be a kind of awkward party, but even just being together, even having awkward experiences together, this is one of the best parts of being alive. So please don't hold back. Love yourself and love everyone around you with Beverly's legacy to you, to me, your big heart, my big heart, the big heart of this world. So thank you, everybody. And I want to introduce somebody who I feel is a dear friend, even though I'm just meeting her in person for the first time, which is Fatima Mboj. And Fatima was really a big part of Beverly's work in this life, and I know for many of you too. I saw the reception line of everybody waiting and getting to meet Fatima in person for the first time. And yes, Fatima is a goddess, and I don't even want to tell you how great she is, because then you'll all want to work with her, and then there won't be any more room for me. So with my own big heart, as you just saw, I want to bring Fatima up to just say a few words before Jack. So thank you, everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone. I feel like everyone here is so familiar, even the people that I haven't spoken with, and I have to give thanks to Beverly for that. Even though today is a day of mourning, it feels much more like celebration, because even the ability that we have to connect now and remember what Beverly stood for is because of the wonderful life that she lived. When I think of Beverly, as we work together, she feels more like a friend. And if I had to describe her, I would describe her as the sun at its most powerful and the truth. Because one of the things that Beverly taught all of us, whether she worked with us professionally or personally, is that to create the reality that you want, you have to first be in tune with your truth. No matter how hard, no matter how easy, embracing every aspect of you and every aspect that relates to you is the key for flow. Beverly helped each and every one of us find our flow. Even if she didn't talk to us directly, the things that she said and what she was a representation of put all of us in contact with our truth. The most important thing that I would say that she communicates is that no matter where you are, you're always with yourself. And the more that you can embrace yourself and embrace all of the things, even the things that don't feel shiny and pretty, the further you're going to go with your fulfillment, the further you're going to go with your happiness. Time is something that just it just keeps going, no matter who we are, no matter how important we are, no matter how busy we are. And at the end of the day, the goal is supposed to be that when we look back at what we've done thus far, whether we make it to 40 or 80 or 100, we need to look back and say, I'm happy that I did that. I'm happy that I said that. I'm happy that I lived that. And so what we have to ask ourselves, is that what we're doing now? Because we only have now. We don't have 12 o'clock today. We don't have 5 o'clock today. We have now. And if we really want to celebrate Beverly and everything that she was about, we will honor ourselves. We will be true to what our truth is, and we will unconditionally show that love not only to ourselves, but to everyone else that we encounter. Because as we honor ourselves, we honor everyone else, and we give them permission to honor themselves. We only want to be fulfilled and happy. It's why we want the job, the car, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, and everything else. But to really figure out the authentic truth that is the representation of what Beverly taught us all, we have to tune in to ourselves. So ask yourself today, where do you stand with what resonates with you truly? What will it take to bridge the gap between where you are and where you'd like to be? And if you really, really, really don't know what that is, think of Beverly. She is the sun. She is the truth. She called you out wherever you needed to be called out in the most loving, unconditional way possible and made you feel like you could do whatever it is that you needed to do to get wherever you're meant to be. And so with that, she would want us to celebrate. She would want us to laugh. And it's okay to shed a tear because that is also our truth. But if we really want to celebrate Beverly, let's honor ourselves in our truth and everyone else and just keep going forward, because that is the only thing that we can actually control. And so I say to all of you, I'm so happy to be here. It's so wonderful to meet all of you for the first time. And let's share in the love and the connection and the sun and the power that was Beverly Berg. Thank you guys so much.
Turned you off. How dare you? It's an honor to stand here in this field of care and this field of love, because that's what really brings us together. And care especially for someone so beloved as Beverly. When someone close to us dies, beloved like Beverly is, the gates between the worlds open. And we sense somehow the mystery of human incarnation and the mystery of life itself. It's present with us here and now. And a memorial in the loss of Beverly is a tender time. There's tears, as Fatima said, and grief and laughter and wonder and maybe a little anger, like, how could you leave us so soon? Heartache, tremendous love, all the feelings that come. And even more deeply, there's a gift that Trudy and Fatima spoke of, that we get to look around to one another and remember what matters most. And if it's not clear, as has been suggested, just ask Beverly. She'll straighten you out in a moment, not a question. Every day is like dew, they say in Zen, never to be repeated. It appears, it's precious, it's fleeting, it shows everything, through its glorious transparency, and then it's gone. Death is natural. Everything dies. Everything dies and is reborn. And it happens to all of us. Beverly died in her own spunky Beverly way. She just did. That woman was true to herself, beginning to end. And in a way, she's already guiding us, even coming together like this. She does. Teaching us or talking to us when we listen or reminding us. The traditional Buddhist chant, Anicca vata sankara ubatawa yadamino upakitawa niruchanti desang upasamo sukho. All things are impermanent, all of them. They have the nature to arise for a time and pass away. To understand this with the heart is the guidance we need to live with love for everything. It's traditional to send someone off with a blessing, and when we gather to do so, with a collective blessing. Beverly, wherever you are, listen to these words from the Tibetan Book of the Dead that reflects what we all know. O nobly born, you who is the daughter of the sun, the daughter of the awakened ones, the daughter of life. Remember your true nature. Remember the pure, clear light from which everything arises, to which everything returns, the deathless. This is who you really are, Beverly Berg. Do not forget it. If visions appear, experiences arise in consciousness, let them come and go like the waves of the ocean. They cannot touch who you really are. Let go into the clear light. Let go into the ocean of love that is your true nature. It is here, just a moment away. I'd like you to reflect, sit quietly as a meditation. And remember your best moments with Beverly. The joy, the blessings, the gifts. Feel the energy of those moments. How they enlivened you, connected you. And as is traditional with the same spirit now, reflect on the thousand moments of your life, the best of them, of goodness or care for another, moments of laughter, touching one another, tenderness, love, timeless wisdom. You carry all of these. So many times you've embodied them. And now together, let us offer to you, Beverly, all our acts of joy, just as you've touched us. All the goodness, all the blessings of our life, gathered in a great field of energy and love. We send you off. And wherever you are, Beverly, remember that this love is who you are. You've always known it. Let go into the pure, clear light, the ocean of peace and love, and feel our blessings carry you in a luminous way. Anicca vata sankhara ubhatava yadamino upakitava niruchanti desang upasamo sukho. Thank you.
Tina Holmes will read a poem by Mary Oliver titled In Blackwater Woods.
Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds. And every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I've ever learned in my lifetime leads me back to this. The fires in the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, to let it go.
Welcome to Tracy Boldman Tatkin and Stan Tatkin.
Hi. I really want to thank Brian and Ruby for inviting me to speak today at this memorial honoring Beverly Berg's rich and wonderful life. I'm honored and I'm humbled. And I have to say that I'm not a public speaker, and when they asked, I'm like, no, you want Stan. You don't want me. I'm like, no, we want you. And it was really Beverly's voice that said, you know, Tracy, stop listening to what you believe is your truth and get out there and frickin' do it. And that's what I did. So as you've said, Beverly lives within us. So Beverly isn't was, Beverly is. So there you go. There's so many aspects of Beverly's life that each of us could talk about, but I've just chosen three. I told Brian I would be short. And as said before, she was wicked funny. I mean, really, Beverly's sense of humor was epic, and truthfully, she had me pee my pants more than once. And Brian and Stan can attest to that. And as Trudy, you talked about the absurdity, that she could see the absurdity that made her tell a story and have us all in stitches. I mean, Stan and I would often go to the Hollywood Bowl with Beverly and Brian, or we'd have New Year's Eve with us, and we would just all be laughing. This dry sense of humor and the ability to just reach in and grab ya. I'm gonna miss waking up in the morning to find that Beverly had sent me an ugly doll that would be staring at me from my phone. So Beverly was just very, very funny. Secondly, I want to address what's also been mentioned is Beverly's generous and thoughtful heart. She truly cared about her family and her friends. Beverly's legendary Valentine's Day birthday parties for Brian were so much fun. And I think what made them so much fun is because Beverly had thoughtfully arranged the table so that folks would have great conversations with their seatmates. And I brought props. So these were our place cards for what must have been a fiesta-themed birthday. So this keen attention to detail was Beverly's way to ensure her guests enjoyed themselves. Then there was Beverly's gift giving, wanting to find the best gift that fit each person in her life. I mentioned that we spent a lot of time at the Bowl earlier, and we had done so much over the years. And so one year, Beverly gave me this antique Hollywood Bowl glass that she had found. So I can just picture her in her bed with Brian and Opie by her side, eating her frozen grapes, with her laptop on her lap, searching the internet for just the right gift. And then there was such a joy radiating, another word that's here, from Beverly as she watched you open her carefully selected gift. I mean, it gave her such joy. So Beverly was a much-loved person, and I feel blessed to have had her as a friend. I know we'll all miss her dearly, and thank you. I'm going to leave the props up for you.
I'm not really a public speaker either. I just play one on TV. I really feel honored being invited. I'm still in shock. Beverly was family to me. She was like a sister, and we had a relationship like siblings. We would joke together, share really dark humor together. I mean, really dark. And I could only do that with one other person, my brother. And except we got along better, Beverly and I. We never really could figure out how we met. It remains the most bizarre experience. We could not figure out how or when we met, so maybe we were family after all. We never really checked. We shared an interest in being therapists together. We shared an interest in our humor, in our, we both fighters. Beverly, very much a fighter. What people said today about her telling the truth and being straightforward, that has been my experience with Beverly as well. I remember when we were having lunch and she was talking about a man that she had met, Brian, and how she had actually felt like she had finally found somebody. And I had the pleasure of watching Beverly and Brian throughout time together, and both Tracy and I enjoyed their company very much, but I was also really taken by their love, their ability to handle anything, and there were a lot of things to handle. Beverly adored you. And one of the things that I think was an example for me was watching the two of you before she became ill and after she became ill, and your dedication, Brian. was an inspiration to me. Her love of you, Ruby, her pride in you, an amazing young woman, smart, going to medical school. There is so much, I think, that the two of you have in common. You're definitely a chip off the old block. And I mean that in the best way. I think she was very, very proud of you. I was always amazed with her ability to create, her going to piano camp and doing the exercises that she did that I couldn't do. We both shared food problems and loved to talk about food. I don't know if anybody else has had this experience, but one of the things I loved doing with Beverly was we'd go places and we'd literally text to each other how we felt about the performing art, who was performing. And with Beverly, it was just the straight poop. You know, this sucks. This is boring. Let's go to a movie. The people in front of us are obnoxious. We just had so much fun doing that. Her being a support for me and a cheerleader for me throughout my career, she was somebody who always supported me when I needed to complain to somebody. She would complain with me. I was so proud of her when she did her book, which was a big achievement, The pottery just never ceases to amaze me how incredibly beautiful. I don't think I realized until looking at that special room and seeing all of her work. I had no idea that it was just so beautiful, but I know how dedicated she was. All the friends that she gathered around her that I have met through Beverly, that are still friends of ours. She was a connector, bringing people together. But I think probably for me, the most moving thing for me was observing the two of you, the three of you, and just how dedicated, devoted she was to making sure that she was the best partner she could be and the best mother she could be. I will miss her dearly. Thank you.
Can you grab the glass?
Try it now. How do I do it? Just do it how you're doing.
You're not taking it.
Yes, please. If I'm humiliated, you're humiliated.
All roads lead back to Ruby.
All right, can we watch our movie?
Yes.
Not here. whose flesh unfurled, who grieves that.
Oh, I thought you said flogging. I'm like, is that something new that people are doing? I'm gonna flog you, Daddy. Go get me a whip.
Oh, come on. Not tonight.
Get me a branch. Get me a switch.
Part of me agreed to do this because it forces her to have to spend a lot of time with me. And that's my favorite thing to do, is to be with her and my husband. So I couldn't be more thrilled.
Crossover boy, crossover.
What? It's just too bright. It's blinding. I'm sorry.
We were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. Yeah, the bonnie boat was one as we sail into the mystic. I can now hear the sailors cry, smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic. And where that foghorn blows, I will be coming home. Yeah, when the foghorn blows, I wanna hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And magnificently we will fold into the mystic. When that foghorn blows, you know I will be coming home. Yeah, when that foghorn whistle blows, I gotta hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And together we will fold into the mystic. Come on, girl. Too late to stop now.
Please welcome Abby Perlmutter, Linda Suker, and Karen Marks.
She's always been a hard act to follow. And here I am doing that today. I have been Beverly's best friend since 5th grade. I know she would want me to say that, as that has been our titles and identities to each other and anyone else who crossed our paths. We were proud to announce that achievement, and we did so often, especially to each other. We have known and loved one another for 55 years. I have a lifetime of memories with Beverly. I was a shy and somewhat fearful kid. She was courageous and daring, even in 5th grade. She challenged me, as she has many of you, even as a kid, and to me, she was bigger than life. One of the first memories I have of her is a walk to her house after school and a bird pooping on my head. I was mortified, I was embarrassed and disgusted. Beverly was hysterical. She rolled on the grass laughing so hard she could barely speak. She finally said, "Come on, this is what we're gonna do," which is a sentence she has said to me many times in the 55 years. This is what we're gonna do. She took me to her bathroom, she sat me down, she gave me the royal treatment, an herbal essence, and I'll never forget it, sour apple shampoo, and a snack, and got me laughing about myself. Over the years, she has taught me there are always solutions. She made me feel okay. She made me feel safe, and we felt safe with each other. We grew up together, and we got in trouble together. We borrowed her parents' red Chevy convertible before we even had our licenses. We got caught smoking cigarettes at school. We got way too stoned way too many times and drove around LA stoned and lived to tell the tale. By the way, she loved this city. We tried to get her to move to Seattle. No, she wouldn't have it. She has been a constant in my life and will be forever woven into the fiber of who I am. From the beginning, she and I held onto each other. We inserted ourselves into each other's families. My mom and Beverly had a love that was equal to any parent-child. We got married, and we talked ad nauseum about our husbands, our relationships, our sex lives, and how lucky we were. How lucky we were to have found these remarkable men who loved us and who got us. Thank you, Brian, for being her person. We raised our kids together. We had babies 4 months apart. We marveled consistently on how it was possible to love them so enormously and with every cell in our bodies. Thank you, Ruby, for being the most remarkable daughter. We were a safe haven for each other, a place to always come back to. She was home for me, and it was an honor and a privilege to have been that for her. Finally, I will miss the way Beverly loved me. I don't have that many people in my life whose love I know is that deep and that fierce and unconditional. I am forever grateful for that and will hold on to that with all my heart and all my soul for the rest of my days. Thank you. Linda, her other best friend.
The first time I saw Beverly, I was in the 9th grade and she was in 10th grade. We were taking a class at Beverly Hills High School called Oral Arts. I will never forget my first impression of her. Here was this cool, hip girl. She had long black hair, alabaster skin, and sharp blue eyes. She wore a blue jean miniskirt, a baby doll top, J. Jordan platform shoes, and a large black purse slung over her shoulder. She smoked and she had her own car. Wow, I was mesmerized by her beauty and energy. We quickly fell in love and became fused at the hip. Beverly gave me my first cigarette, my first joint. We took a road trip to Berkeley in the 70s to visit her boyfriend. We went to Toluca Market at 2 a.m. in the morning to get freshly baked buttermilk donuts. We went to the beach house to eat ice cream and talk. We went to concerts and got yelled at by the people in front of us for talking. We talked about everything and analyzed everything to death. Even at that young age, Beverly was not afraid of controversy or disagreement. She welcomed it. Even at that young age, she was genuinely interested in the human experience, almost as if to say, how are you dealing with this insane thing called life? Even at that young age, she never questioned what her career path would be. She was a natural in making people open up because she was genuinely interested. In high school, we had a daily routine of coming home from school, doing homework, at least I did, smoking a joint, listening to music, and playing backgammon and solitaire side by side. My parents adored her. And my father would wait by the window for her car, telling me, Linda, Evelyn is here. During those years, Beverly would say to me, Lindy, tell me, we will always do this, and it will never end. From classical to reggae, Mendelssohn, Laura Nyro, and Jimmy Cliff, Beverly loved all types of music and was an accomplished classical pianist. She felt the music deeply. How would I describe my best friend, Beverly Berg? Beverly had passion and was intense. When she wanted to do something, whether it be learn Spanish, write a book, piano, needlepoint, get a doctorate, or ceramics, she went in full force. She was a seeker of truth and authenticity. She didn't veer away from controversy, but craved intimate human interaction with the ones she loved. And when she loved you, there was nothing like it. When Beverly walked into a room, you never forgot it. When she sat next to you at a dinner party, you never forgot her. She was generally interested in making those she spoke with feel like the light of her love and interest was shining on them like the warm sun. A truly unique woman of energy, passion, light, and love. Brian, Arthur, Beverly, Alexa, and myself shared so many landmarks of life together over the years. I'm grateful to have those memories. I can't imagine going through the rest of my life without her. Such a force, such a woman. Even when she was so sick, every time I walked into the room, her eyes lit up and she looked at me as if to say, Lindy, where have you been? I've missed you. Lindy, tell me we will always do this, that we will always be together. Brian and Ruby, thank you for taking such good care of Beverly. She appreciated what you did. I will never forget the meals, the dancing, and the time together we shared since her diagnosis. Thank you both for allowing Alexa and I to be with you and with her, and Kevin too. We will have those memories that are now treasures. We all know this is an impossible and unfair situation. I can't even begin to understand why or what we are supposed to make of this tragedy. Although I have learned one lesson. When you love someone as much as I love Beverly, nothing and nobody is worth separating yourself from that love. Thank you.
So much has been already said. The story goes that when my little sister Bev was born, she had been home no more than 24 hours when her parents looked at each other and declared, "This is not the same child as her sister." Bev's electric energy was evident from the beginning and would drive her entire life. She never held back. She had no time or interest in small talk. Her honesty was brutal, but you knew it was the truth. Can I get an amen? She was always our true north. When she declared a new interest, she would take it hostage until she mastered it or destroyed it. As has already been mentioned, do you know anybody else who would sell her pottery to stores while maintaining her psychotherapy practice, pursue a PhD mid-career when it wasn't truly necessary, charge through her CrossFit program and rank amongst others in her age category? And I see Caesar back there, thank you so much. Needlepoint constantly, plunge into the piano. Have you seen the new reconstituted program, Kids Say the Darndest Things? Yep, Bev was on that TV program as a 4-year-old 61 years ago with Art Linkletter. Mr. Linkletter asked her how God makes rain. She told him with confidence, God takes a sponge and squeezes it. My 2 boys were already teenagers when Ruby was born. My son, Jordan, is a psychotherapist and was mentored by Beverly for years. They adored each other. Beverly was notorious for her devotion to Brian and Ruby. Ruby was so welcome when she was born. I was so excited for us all. I said to her, Bev, can you believe it? You had a girl. In all seriousness, she said, I am so happy. If I had known I was giving birth to my best friend, I would have had her sooner. When my son Danny and his wife Lerone visited Bev a couple of months ago, Bev held her own in conversation. The most poignant moment of all was when she said to Danny, I wish for you what you wish for yourself. What more could you ask for? I will miss you forever, Bevy, and I will think of you night and day, and mostly when rain is sent from heaven.
Beverly's beloved piano teacher, Cem Aslu from Istanbul, could not be here. His colleague, concert pianist Josh Tatsu Cullen, will perform Beethoven's Pathetique Sonata, second movement.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ruby, and I'm Beverly's daughter. Thank you for being here today. My mother's mind was prolific. She was a pianist, a ceramicist, a CrossFitter, a needle pointer, a published writer, a clinician, an artist, a wife, a mother. It's not unreasonable to assume there's a cult out there, somewhere, that she started. If anything, welcome to the first meeting. It is incredibly moving to stand in front of so many people and know that no matter if you're a friend, family, colleague, or patient, we can agree my mother was a force of nature. The breadth of topics my mother explored was endless, and the commitment level was devout. But the magic was the fervor and zeal she dedicated to every one of her talents. Regardless of how you knew Beverly, she was brilliant, candid, and impactful. As her only child and daughter, I have the privilege of sharing insight into a relationship no one else shared. I watched her success as a clinician and was inspired to emulate a strong and brilliant female provider. I watched her immerse herself in her hobbies and wanted to be diverse and endlessly curious like she was. When it came to being a mother, she was not only a protector or mentor, but she saw me clearly, loved me unconditionally, and gave me every tool possible to thrive. My world was filled with sonnets by Bach, art by Murakami, and an insatiable thirst for culture, music, and ugly dolls. I will just mention that I wasn't the easiest child. I was always on the go, some might even say hyperactive, but my mother joyfully trailed after me as I darted through the world. She stood in front of me and shielded me. And most importantly, she was always next to me, holding my hand and guiding me. In doing so, she was my greatest advocate and best friend. We've made each other pee our pants from laughter more times than I can count. I miss my mom every day. I wanted her to see me graduate medical school. I wanted her to be at my wedding. I wanted her to meet my children. It kills me that she's not here to see my accomplishments. In part because she always had the answers, not just as a mother, but because Beverly always had the answers. And life celebrations can be equally terrifying as they are exciting. But I wanted her here as she's my inspiration to pursue them, and all I want to do is make her proud. I've always wanted to be the brilliant, hardworking, and loving person that she is. It has never felt daunting but inspiring to try and fill such big shoes. I'm profoundly honored to carry my mother's legacy. Thank you for being here to honor her. As the most influential figure in my life, I will do her memory justice every day. And us coming together now is just the start. Thank you.
Right off the bat, I have to all let you know that probably all of you, most of you know this, Beverly hated the fucking heat. Hated the heat. Would do anything in her means to get out of the heat and stay out of the heat. So in typical Beverly fashion, we're here in the heat. I just want to say that Beverly would be completely overwhelmed by this outpouring of appreciation and acknowledgement of her life. I'm profoundly grateful to each and every single one of you here. and all the people that we've been fortunate and lucky enough to have met in our lives and to cultivate and have relationships with. We were really lucky as a couple. We were able to create a community of friends that were vast and interesting. And Beverly and I really enjoyed being entertained, and we picked people that entertained us. That was a big criterion for us. If you wanted to get to know us, we really loved to be entertained. So I want to thank everyone in the past year who has supported us as a family, Beverly directly. It meant a lot and has made the year really bearable. Speaking of her eulogy, Beverly said one day, and we got to talk a lot in the last 21 months since she had her seizure and then her diagnosis. And that was one of the great activities that we enjoyed as a couple. You know, we loved to talk about anything and everything, and did it shoulder to shoulder, face to face, while the television was on and Beverly was multitasking. We were always talking about everything. And one day, Beverly told me and turned to me and said, we were talking about her eulogy. And Beverly says, you know what, fuck it, Brian. I'm gonna write my own eulogy, and it's gonna be so moving, you're gonna pee in your pants in front of everyone. Unfortunately, Beverly never had the chance to write that eulogy. And that's okay, because what I want to leave, and the one thing that I want to impress and say, Beverly gave myself and Ruby an extraordinary life beyond my wildest imaginations and dreams. The type of care on every level Beverly demonstrated to me and to Ruby taught me. Beverly really taught me how to love and to be loved. She kind of forced me to, in Beverly's inimitable, style, and for that I'm incredibly grateful for that. Beverly also taught me to think. I can hear Beverly right now saying two things. Okay? She'd be saying, "You better not fuck this up, Brian." Okay? And she would say, "Slow down." She'd say, "Slow down." And it was one of the great lessons of my life. Beverly had this uncanny ability to know exactly what you needed to work on for yourself. And directly and indirectly, she got you to do that. You don't have to show any hands, but how many of you here did something because Beverly either said to do it or suggested to say it or indirectly said to do it, right? Uncanny ability to do that. And as a direct result for that ability, we had an incredible amount of experiences together, some really funny, some hysterically odd, and some very much life-changing. And for that, I'm incredibly endeared and indebted to her for that. Beverly would get incredibly annoyed with me because she would, when we would be driving, I had this odd habit of always pointing out something in LA because LA is always morphing and changing. I go, "Beverly, look at that building." She'd go, "Brian, shut up. You're like an ADD kid pointing out everything. Why are you doing this?" You know? And unbeknownst to me, I need to point out all to you, when I picked the Ebell, I had no idea. We got married in Union Station, and unbeknownst to me, the Ebell was founded for women and by women, for the advancement of women in the arts and sciences, and the advancements of women in culture. And I cannot find a better place to say goodbye to my wife and to honor her for, again, the extraordinary life that she gave me. I could tell you so many stories, and I'll leave you with this very quickly. She told me, one of the last things that she shared with me was, she said that we had an exciting marriage, and by the time that we met each other, we were ready for marriage, and that we had made lost time up by taking trips to New York's and other trips. And by the way, that was one of our great joys, to travel. We really were best traveling and being someplace new, and I will miss that. Then she went on to tell me that I was a really good father, and that I was a wonderful husband. And she wished that we had more time together. And that if there were any holes left behind, let the future fill them for yourself. That's my wish for you. And I know that that would be Beverly's wish for all of you here and mine, that for any holes that are in any of our lives, Beverly would kind of demand us to fill them. So let's do that and honor Beverly Berg in the way that only Beverly Berg could do. And so I really appreciate you all being here, and thank you very much. And I want to share one thing. I had to close down Beverly's office, and Beverly had a big bowl of rocks and marbles and glass pieces, and she kept it for years, and she'd often give it to a patient for various reasons as an anchor to hold on to her. And I had that bowl, and I need and want each and every one of you to take a piece from that bowl as a remembrance of her. And I also want you, anyone, please enjoy the flowers that Laura and Jim graciously have provided for us today. And with that, let's go eat lunch and get out of the effing heat. Thank you very much. Thank you. So let's go eat. Let's go eat.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living.
Excuse me, folks. May I have your attention for just a moment? Lunch is being served up on in the room across from the patio, so please come in and help yourself. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
Ask me if there'll come a time when I grow tired of you. Never my love, never my love. You wonder if this heart of mine will lose its desire for you. Never my love, never my love. What makes you think love will end when you know that my whole life depends on you? Da, 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 da. Never my love, never my love. You say you fear I'll change my mind, I won't require you. Never my love, never my love. How can you think love will end when I've asked you to spend your whole life with me? Never my love, never my love, never my love. Never my love, never my love, never my love.
The war was over and the spirit was broken. The hills were smoking as the men withdrew. We stood on the cliffs and watched the ships slowly sinking to their rendezvous. They signed a treaty and our homes were taken. Loved ones forsaken, they didn't give a damn. Try to raise a family Some stayed on to finish what they started. They never parted.